Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. This is your captain speaking, and we got a fun one tonight. We are going to be doing a top 10 favorite fighters, and we are doing it with the one, the only, Taytertots. Tater, they can see you, they can hear you.
All right, great.
So,
What's up?
hey man, good to have you. This is sort of your baby. This is your creation. So why don't you take point here?
Okay, so we got a list of 10 fighters each. We'll just go back and forth and take turns, and either you or I will go first, and we'll just go through, talk about a little bit about
Love it.
our characters, comment on each other's characters. Maybe some people have some things to say in the chat too, I'm sure.
That sounds great. By the way, I am wearing my Bloody Mary shirt. You can't see it. I'm wearing my Bloody Mary shirt. Actually, you can see it because you are peeking in on the stream. So I'm wearing it, and you're wearing your Bruce Lee shirt. Okay, so I'm wearing mine because this is my number 11. This is my number 11, and I knew I couldn't really talk about my number 11 unless I had some other way of getting her in here. And she actually was higher up, and I just was like, I was last minute audibling, like, okay, sure, I love her, but do I actually play her? Like, how often do I actually get to play her? If I got to choose her over the people above her, would I choose her? So all that was factoring in for me.
Sure. I'm wearing a Bruce Lee shirt because it's the only Unmatched shirt I own.
Fair enough. Fair enough. By the way, guys, this is a very great shirt. It is just the right amount of really creepy and like a little bit of playful. I'm a big fan of it.
You wear this in public?
I have not worn this in public yet, but someday I will wear it in public. On Halloween, I think I might have pulled it out on Halloween, or I wore it for my wife's surprise party. We did a Harry Potter scavenger hunt. I do some scavenger hunts for everybody, and then we go and do them. The year before, 2 years before, we did New Girl. It was awesome. Then this year, we did Harry Potter, and this was the closest thing I had to Harry Potter, so I wore it. And everyone said that was not Harry Potter at all, and they were right, but still got to wear my shirt.
You probably made some Harry Potter fans angry.
You know, that's my wife's thing. It is not my thing. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? We could snake it.
Sure.
We will definitely lose track, but here, actually, you know what? This makes the most sense. I'll go first. We won't snake it. I'll go first, because then I can put my card out, and then boom, when you tell me yours, I'll find your card and I'll throw it on the table. So my number 10. So my number. Sorry, say it again.
No, we'll be ready. Good. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Excited.
So let's see what the chat's saying first off. Let's see what the chat's saying.
Not much. Well, Maneuver Man took a shot at you. Other than that.
It's not a shot. That's a fair assessment. And you know what? Maybe I have Panther in here twice or more. Who knows?
Yeah, he's number 10. Hey, you know that you can't have Panther as like number whatever and then Shuri as another one, right?
We didn't say that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I did heroes. I did the characters, the sets. I didn't do fighters.
Yeah.
Even though it's called fighters.
Let's see how you interpret it.
I got 10 of these guys here. Okay.
All right.
10 of these guys. All right. So my number 10. My number 11 was Bloody Mary. I love her. She's incredible. My number 10 is Dracula. And can we see that? Sort of. Number 10 is Dracula. Every time I get to play Dracula, it's just fun. It's just fun. And I don't know exactly why. I love ping damage, first off. I don't love the way Medusa does it, because it's just like there's no way to like counterplay it. It's just it's just gonna happen kind of a thing. With Dracula, there's there's this cost to it, which could be it could be positive, but it could also just be, it could be really tough. So you're drawing a card if you dealt damage. That's awesome. You can deal damage to your sister and do like the whole like the Dracula thing to get more cards for that damage. Like you are playing around lethal the entire game.
Yeah.
It's a very unique situation where you're like, okay, I know if I can get them to this health, as long as they don't have these cards in their deck or in their hand, if they're at this health, I have lethal. I can go in and get it. And I love that game that he plays. It's really fun.
I think one of the funnest things to do sometimes is to kill your own sister and go in and not attack with a beast form, because they're obviously thinking you're sacrificing for a beast form for more cards.
Right.
And just throw some other card out there.
Yeah, that's great. Especially, I mean, if you know they have the Feint, it's your second one or whatever. Yeah, that's awesome. Sure. A lot of mind games, a lot of fun, a lot of schemes. There's healing. Healing is one of my favorite things to do in the game by far. And there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of schemes.
Right.
That's my number 10.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a great one. Probably the best character in that set for sure. Anyway, they said Mitosis said Drac is respectable. I agree.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Mitosis.
Regardless if he's on your top 10, you gotta respect that pick.
Yes, the theme. Okay, it's just a good fighter. He's a fun fighter.
Honest character. Okay, so for my character, I'm gonna go with one of the first sets ever came out. One of the characters is Robin Hood. He's the first character I ever played as in this game.
Cool. Okay. Let me find it for you.
Yeah, so Robin Hood. And I came at this with an approach of this whole list of the character and how he plays in the game. Because what I love about Unmatched originally and what drew me is the fact that it had some of the characters that I thought, oh, that's so neat. Bigfoot, King Arthur, Robin Hood. I love these stories and characters. And so Robin Hood I go with. He's original. He's not that great now. He's not terrible. But he is range. He's got that. He can jump in and move away. He's only got, I think his highest defenses are 3s.
Right.
But he can hide behind 4 different outlaws that come back, and they can do some crazy things as well. And not most of the characters in this game, the sidekicks can't use the ability as well. Most of them, but Robin Hood sidekicks can have that ability as well to move away too after. Yeah. I love to stay in the zone and pressure with him and just trap somebody. Even characters like Sherlock, to go in with him. He's my favorite character to take into Sherlock because you can just keep staying in the zone and you don't have to even use his ability and just keep pressuring him with his amount of card draw that he has.
All right, that's good.
So Robin Hood,
very cool.
Number 10.
Yeah, I played against your Robin Hood today actually as Tomoe, and yeah, you have a very good Robin Hood. I don't get to play against Robin Hood a lot, so that was really fun.
Yeah, there's not a lot of.
Yeah, there's just I think it's Dave Mill, the Robin Hood main. I believe that's what he's called actually. It's like Dave Mill, the Robin Hood main. I think that's his name. I might be wrong there. All right, that was a great pick. By the way, guys, so as we do these, I want you guys to obviously say, do you agree with the pick? Would it be in your top 10? Do you hate the pick? And then also, is there crossover in our picks? So I want you guys to be guessing.
Yeah,
is Drac in his? Is Robin Hood in mine? All right, so I want you guys to be guessing as we're going.
Crockpot, do you think we're going to have any overlap? Captain.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Oh, yeah, that's right. You can't see me. I was giving you a face of like,
Do you think we'll have more than one overlap or more than 2? What do you think? Like,
I don't think we will have more than. I don't think we're gonna have. Any overlap?
I think we'll have two. Looking at my list, I think we'll have two.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Based on your playstyle, I could see one.
Okay.
I could definitely see one being an overlap.
Okay. Yeah, I think we got very different flavors, which is nice for a list like this. I think we represent two different flavors of Unmatched and what we like.
Yes. My style is very... I like the fatigue game. I like the chess matchy game. I like the healing and like that whole thing. I don't want to just like go in and just attack. That's not my favorite thing to do. Now, I do have fighters on here that still do that. But this guy is one of the staples for not doing that. He's my home skillet. He's my home skillet here. Ingen, Robert Muldoon.
Man, I thought it was Invisible Man.
So Invisible Man, I don't play him very much. Theme-wise, thematically, he is like top 5. And as far as like fun to play, if he could win a lot of games, he would be up higher. Yeah. I think a big factor is, can you win with the fighter? If you can't win at all with them, it's way harder for them to be in my top. Because I'm never playing just for fun like casuals anymore. I'm always playing competitively in some format. And even if it's a casual like friendly game, I'm playing a competitive friendly game against a competitive player who's on Discord. So like I'm not getting to play very often. Like when I play against my wife, oh man, I play Invisible Man, Deadpool, Cloak and Dagger, fighters that I don't get to play a lot, but I want to play. But yeah, Robert Muldoon, he is, a lot of people would say, a scumbag. I don't think so. I think he's a gentleman and a scholar. I'm not a huge
fan of a few things with Robert. So, number one, I would say having 3 move is obnoxious to me for a couple of reasons. One, thematically, it bothers me that Robin Hood is faster than, literally any of these other two movement fighters.
Sure.
He's just a guy. And he doesn't need it. I don't think he needs 3 movement for his, and then the other thing that is kind of irritating is he can have 9 sidekicks, he can just bring them back. That's a little much. I think there should be more of a cost or something.
It's just the right amount. 9. Yeah, range. Move 3 range. We see that with Medusa, but his whole unit, all of them are ranged. That's crazy. Thematically, it's awesome. The move 3, not thematically awesome, but I like it. I as a player of Muldoon, I like it.
Yeah, of course.
The thing is, so with Muldoon, it's all about positioning. It's all about when do you trap. It's sort of like Bigfoot's ability, where it's like if you do 1 trap too many, you're gonna lose. But if you do 1 trap too little, you're gonna lose, and because you only have 12 defenses.
Yeah.
So you have to like corral, you have to trap, you have to play this different game. It's sort of like this other game, kind of like Black Widow with her side games. It's a different game that you're playing. And against a lot of fighters, it works really well. Yeah. One of the most fun games. It was annoying that it was so easy and funny, but it was also really fun. Was going into, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was on one of our videos. I played against. It was on Sherwood. I was Ingen, and O-Town was Jekyll and Hyde. And I just kept shooting him, pushing him away, and then just walking away. So every turn he was just double maneuvering every turn, and I'd shoot him, push him away.
Yeah.
It was a joy for me. It was probably painful to watch. For me, it was really fun. He's my number 9.
I think with what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. For Muldoon, with all his traps and stuff, it's very different than a lot of fighters, and he could just go back. But have you ever played? I did this matchup with Sidious at Gen Con a couple years ago. Willow and Muldoon.
No, I've only played against Willow twice, and I played as her one time.
Okay, because she has that, the revive with her sidekick Terra. She runs over these traps, and she's making you draw and deck out just as fast as she is, while she revives her sidekick twice.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what Sidious did is he never laid a trap, and he just ran away from me the whole game. Anyone.
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. By the way, so another thing that makes it top for me, top 10, is Jurassic Park. It's an incredible movie.
Like
it's an incredible movie, and it's just I love the IP. When that came out in Unmatched. I was just so excited. So yeah, huge fan of the IP, huge fan of the movies, and he's a fun character. When I watched them, so like when I watched the movies a lot beforehand, right? And I got the set, I played the set, and I was just like, oh man, the quotes, just loving it. And then I watched the movie again. I literally cannot watch the movie now without thinking of the Unmatched card, and like something will happen in the movie. I'm like, oh, that's 3 damage. Oh, it's his first turn attack. Like, I can't not do that. I'm a big, huge fan of Jurassic Park. All right, you're number 9.
All right, my number 9 is Achilles.
Okay.
Now, Achilles was probably, out of all the characters I've ever played, each time a new set comes out, I play each character 10 times to get to know the character. And so I played Achilles, and after 10 times, I was like, man, I still feel like I don't have a good grasp on him. Mm-hmm. He's got because there's so many different matchups, and with each matchup, what he needs to do changes each time. And sometimes you want to keep Pat alive longer, maybe even the whole game, as you saw a few days ago with one of your matchups. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you don't want to. And sometimes you want him killed right off the bat so you can just go ham with Achilles. And so that interesting dynamic, that's what makes Unmatched to me a character, a great character. Because you can have fun with a character once or twice out of the box, Right. And I'm going to spoil that Sinbad is not on my list. He used to be one of my favorite characters. And I loved his playstyle, but it got so samey. Yes. I played the same way every game. I didn't want to do it anymore. And so with Achilles, each matchup I'm changing that up. So right. I really like that about Achilles. And it was the first, I believe it was the first deck to have recursion in it, right? With Battle Frenzy. I think so. He's before Little Red, I'm pretty sure. A new concept. Little Red has?
No. She was Red first because she has her 2s that can come back. Yeah, he was the first versatile. Yeah. He was the first versatile ones that could go forever.
Yeah. Yeah, and he could just pick a card though.
Right.
He could pick it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. I like that. I like that he's a tank. I like that people are scared when I'm playing it.
Yeah. Yeah, Achilles he's awesome. He's every time I play Achilles, it's a great time. Because of that puzzle. It's always that puzzle. It's always a new puzzle every time.
Yeah.
Mitosis says Willow has recursion. He is correct.
Who's Willow?
What's the Buffy set?
If you have a Buffy character on yours. Alright. But yeah, that is my number 9.
Alright, number 9. It's great. This will be the biggest shock, I believe, for people. Deadpool.
Is it really?
Yeah. Wow. So Deadpool.
I consider that.
Oh, you can't even see. Wow. Yeah, you nailed it.
What's your thought process? What's your thought process going into it?
I have never played a Deadpool game and not had fun. I have always had fun every time I play him. I love the 30 different cards. The idea of it. I love the idea of his deck. The whole thing as an idea is awesome. If you house rule your own card to make everything work, like your own deck, if you make everything work except for the Logan, you can even play the yellowish space being a yellowish space, as long as it is a space that you choose. But the way that I play is just you can place him anywhere. But if you play that, it's just he's really fun, and he can do really well. Obviously into fatigue fighters, but most games he is not going to do well in, and you're going to have to figure out how to win. But it's possible. You attack enough times, you can heal for just massive health.
Yeah. Would you? I have two questions. First, do you write on the cards? And then second is, well, answer that one first. And then we'll go.
Yes, I do write on my cards. I write in such a way that it looks as if he wrote on the cards.
Okay.
With care and respect to the game.
Can you imagine? Is it Holy Mackerel where he takes 5 back?
This dumpster diving.
Yeah. Can you? Oh yeah, dumpster dive. Can you imagine dumpster dive in any other deck? How OP that would be?
Yeah. No, and like that's the thing is like he has these one-offs, and you'll only see them one time. You may never see his cards. You may never see them. And so like, do you wait for this card, or do you like what do you do? When do you use your dumpster dive? Do you like okay, I've got 4 okay cards out here. I guess I'll use it now because I might draw just absolute garbage later. I've got my boost card, but I don't have my 6 value boost yet. How long do you hold that for? Like, it's a fun game. It's a really fun game. And like, okay, I'm gonna attack you from range. It's a 3. You know it. I know it. But guess what? I'm gonna heal off of it. And what do you do with that information? So it's his whole little kit is really fun. And it's always a different game the way you play it. Map obviously matters. Position matters. But you're not. When I'm playing Deadpool, I'm not playing competitively. It's just you're playing for fun. You're playing for fun against. Against.
For that, yeah.
Right. So that's my number. Sure. My number 8 is Deadpool.
Okay. My number 8 is a character that
I like this.
I personally messaged Justin and said, and asked him, is this character coming out? Is this a character coming out next year? And it was 6 months prior to when the set came out, and the set hadn't been announced. And this is Beowulf.
Oh.
I messaged him and said, is it Beowulf? And he said, yeah, it's Beowulf. He told me what it was, and he showed me a couple cards. And it's one of the characters that I just wanted that character because I knew the stories and the epic of Beowulf beforehand. And I thought it'd be a great character. And they added him. They added Rage. It was a great idea. I think they implemented it well. He doesn't have the greatest defense if you pressure him. But with the meat shield that is Wiglaf, and with his healing and the Rage, it balances that out nicely.
Yeah. And
sometimes he struggles getting in if he's the one that needs to get in to chase you down. But overall, Beowulf dealing with that rage, mitigating it, and sometimes only having 2 rage and using either War King or what's the other one?
Epic
the
Poem?
Ancient Heirloom.
Okay.
Ancient Heirloom.
Yeah.
And so using either of those 2 when you only have 2 rage sometimes is beneficial because then they're not thinking.
Right.
They might feint the you don't want them to feint War King, but you do want them to feint Heirloom because it can't be feinted. It can boost.
Yeah.
Boost it up and get 4 damage or whatever, depending. And
that makes sense too because they'd be trying to feint the Epic Poem, which is that's a good play. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like the character can do that. And I'll talk about a few characters here in the future that have the ability to have some cool fake outs.
Yeah. Oh, we know who you'll be talking about soon.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your fighters, but I don't want to spoil my list. What should I do?
Yeah, let's go through. We'll come back through all of them
Okay.
once more again to kind of going over them at the end.
Cool. All right. My number.
Look at it as a whole.
7, 10, 9, 8, 7 is. I would say it's in the same vein as Deadpool.
Okay.
Okay, and you can take a guess here. You can take a guess here where it's someone who's not great.
Yeah.
But I
okay.
love playing them. I love the challenge of playing them.
I'm gonna go with it's got to be another one of them weak Marvel characters, like from Teen Spirit, or it's either Teen Spirit or Spider-Man. One of those four.
Dude, you are on it. You are on it. It is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love playing as Spider-Man. Even though he's not great. He's not great.
Yeah, I like him too.
First off, and I've been very vocal about this, best art in the entire Unmatched universe. Best art.
Wow.
Yeah. Not best card back, but best art. Mitosis.
I read it, yeah. Mitosis says it.
Guys, listen, this is I love the challenge of, okay, how can you get a win with Spider-Man? How can you do it? All right, Mitosis, who's got the best art? But yeah,
there's like 10 other characters that have better art, but we don't have time for that, so let's continue.
Okay, so what's his name? Who's the artist for most of the sets? But Spider-Man's one of them. What's
Oliver.
He's incredible, and most of my favorite sets were designed and drawn by him. Not designed, but drawn by him.
My
illustrated.
My favorite are the Genie and Houdini artist. I like him a lot.
Really good too. Really, really good. But yeah, Spidey. So Spider-Man. You have three. His kit's not great. Okay. Because we are playing the competitive scene, and we know decks in and out, we can anticipate what you're playing and what would be optimal, what would not be. So we sort of already have his ability. But there are some fighters that it really helps against. One of them for me is Widow. I love playing Spider-Man into Black Widow. It's actually a really good matchup for him. She just can't play her ones, or she's playing them as ones. And there's little things like that. He's a solo fighter, which is good into her. He's going to hit pretty hard, which is good into her. So I like him into Widow. There's a couple other fighters that he can do well in that are sort of high tiered. But it's just a fun game you're playing. You have these 6s that you can make into 8s. If you're on a really good map, you can make them into 10s. You can make them into consistent 9s on Hanging Gardens, that kind of thing. Not consistent, but and then you're pushing them or pulling them back in. Like you're kicking them, you web them, bring them back in, you hit them again. You can chunk people pretty well. Sort of like that same game as Dracula if you're using your 6s in that way. But also you can just sort of put them up. You put the initiative on them. Now they have to come in at you because they are so low in health. You could win it in fatigue. He just doesn't. It's just an interesting kit. It's an interesting kit.
Difficult.
It's not great. It's not perfect at all. He's missing cards. Like he should definitely have Black Widow's web shooter or whatever it's called. What's her card called with web?
Oh yeah,
Mitosis knows. What's that web card?
Widow's Line? No, not Widow's Line. Caught in the Web or Web?
That's it.
Caught
in the Web. Yeah, Caught in the Web. He should have that card. That would actually make a lot of sense with his kit. It would give him a kind of a feint. It would have been great. Yeah. But really fun to play. I enjoy it every time. That's my number 7, Spider-Man.
I think Spider-Man, if you were to come into Unmatched and just have all the decks before you, and never have seen it before, you'd be like, wow, this guy's great. He's got 6s, and he can boost them up to a +1 draw card, gain an action. He just looks really good, and you get to know their cards. That just sounds great. But yeah, in reality, didn't work out.
Yep. What's your number? What's your number
Fun
7?
choice. Okay. My number 7.
Yep.
7, right? We're on 7.
Yep.
My number 7 is a Jurassic Park character, or characters rather. It is 3 heroes in 1. It is the Rat.
Makes sense. When you said characters, I was like, it is not Dr. Sattler. Yeah, Raptors makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Raptors, for me, I usually don't play fresher characters often. Out of all my characters, I think maybe it's like 50-50. I take that back. But with Raptors, what I love about them is they're so... This is going to sound terrible, but they're so swingy. I could go in and I could get nuked one of my Raptors or two of my Raptors, and it's just over, and you know it's going to be over.
Yep.
Or I could go in with 3. I had one game. I went in with 3 Raptors on Sarpedon against Bigfoot. He only had a regroup, and I went in and I attacked him. I killed him in 2 turns. And you could have a wild game like that, and you never know. They don't have much defense, but they are scary, and you got to run. Like, you got to have a couple defenses in your hand to be prepared. As the opponent going up against Raptors, you have to have multiple defenses. So you're kind of always on the run, even though you could attack and damage them because you know they don't have a lot of defenses. But the threat of 3 Raptors surrounding you. Also, one big thing, and hasn't been mentioned yet, with a lot of these characters, positioning is very important, and Raptors care about positioning a lot with surrounding them. So you got to be careful playing against them. And it forces your opponent to play more careful about where they're going.
Yeah.
And something interesting about the Raptors is, well, in all of Unmatched, there's usually this point in the game where both players are trying to build their hand back up, like midway through the game, like 15 cards in.
Right.
Raptors have to do that a couple times in the game, in the match. They have to know when to back off for a bit and just get a whole hand again and then come in and be scared.
Yeah.
So that's why Raptors are on my list.
I did not play Raptors until I got them painted. Like, I had them for a while. I wasn't excited about them at all.
Wow.
I think because they came in the set with Muldoon, and Muldoon just spoke to me. Like, so I never really played them. Everybody else always played Raptors against me, and for me it was like too risky. They were too squishy. It just didn't feel like something I really wanted to do. And then I got them painted, and I got them blue, yellow, and red. And then as soon as I got them painted, I started playing them. Man, they were a lot of fun. Huge fun. Yeah, so that was it was interesting. That was one of the characters I did not expect to love, and I did really enjoy them. But they're not very high on my list, as people can expect.
Yeah.
All right. Those are our bottom 4s. My next guy.
We're getting to the real stuff.
Yeah. So this is the one that I would have predicted beforehand that there would be crossover. So don't say anything, but this is my one guess that there could be crossover.
Okay.
And that's Houdini. I've never seen you play Houdini. It matches with the playstyles that I've seen so far. Also, it matches with you saying that you love his art really a lot, so that also matches. But Houdini, man, when he came out, like, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah. He's a hype character, yeah.
He teleported to my number 1 for a long time, and he was up there.
He escaped.
Yeah, he escaped to my number 1. For a long time, he was way up there, and then and that's because it was such a new thing. First off, it was a contest. That was just exciting that there were these fighters that were made by other people that, like, it was just a different thing, you know? Like, I don't like...
And it's such a unique concept.
Right. Yeah. It's a guy that... I like real life people IP stuff, like whatever you want to call it. I like that. I think that's really fun. And if you can do it in a cool way. And then the whole boosting mechanic was awesome to do. Every turn that you played was exciting because you could end it any turn. Like, you could just go off, especially with, like, you know, setting the stage and the big reveal and getting cards back. Like, the whole way that interaction went, like his whole deck, the way it works is so much fun. It was one of the only really aggressive fighters that I just really, really loved right out of the gate, for not being an aggressive player. What are you saying?
Well, what's your favorite card in this deck? The most fun?
Most fun card. Oh, there's so many, but because of... Oh, man. So, the most cruel is Set the Stage.
Sure.
And, of course, that feels good when you get their one defense out. Most fun, it would probably be... I think it's called, for my next trick, the two value attack that you're gaining an action drawing a card. Because that's a mind game. That's a mind game. I love that. Of course, the most powerful card is his big reveal. That's super fun. Yeah, I think that's probably what it would be. Riley says he's here for the Panther roast. It's coming. It's coming for sure.
We all know it.
If he's in my top 10. If he's there. We don't know.
Yeah, well. Even if he wasn't, he'd probably steal a spot because that's his main gimmick, stealing. Okay, so
true.
You didn't mention Bess at all. What do you think about 5 health little old Bess?
There are games, if the opponent doesn't respect her, like, there are games where you just attack all day with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm impartial about Bess. There are games when I've used her, and then there's games when I just never used her at all. There's games when you want her to die right away. There's games when you really need her alive. So she's interesting. When you defend her and protect her, it usually shocks the opponent. So the swap is a key card for her. So keeping her alive so you get that swap is a big decision. And then there's just some decisions to make. Do you discard your one card so that you can draw a card? I wouldn't, but sometimes you have to. I like to use that for the action game. That's
what's the boost for value called? Do you remember?
Now you see me, now you don't. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's called. Like, don't look at my hand is what it's called.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a beautiful foil as well. All right, what's your number 5? Number 6.
Yeah, my number 6. You want to hear my number 5 or 6?
Give me your 6. Let's go 6 first.
Number 6 is almost a crossover. It is the Genie.
Okay. Yeah, I have. By the way, I have pulled out the cards. I have pulled out the cards that I think are your fighters, and he was in one of those. So I'm tuned in. I'm tuned in into your player pool.
Wow, you're reading me. All right, so the Genie, for a few reasons. One, the Genies are great. When I looked up Unmatched, I think of the character, and the Genie is a great idea for a character in Unmatched, in my opinion.
Right.
The fact that he's got the 16 health, his ability, crazy, move of 3 and ranged, and his art's on point, and the 3 wishes. It's the bread and butter of his deck. It's what you're trying to go for, the 3 wishes, whether you're going for the discarding or the extra draw or all of it. Mm-hmm. Playing it all at once feels great. Feels terrible for the opponent, feels great for you.
Yeah.
and the fact that the whole game they have to play around that, knowing, okay, I can't be caught without cards. I can't be caught with only a couple cards in my hand.
Right.
And there's that constant threat. Love it. I love gaining actions and coming in and being intimidating. So, Genie at number 5. No, six. Number 6. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I like him, because of that one thing. It might get stale, like I mentioned with Sinbad, kind of playing the same thing over and over again. But I haven't played Genie as much as Sinbad for sure.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I've experienced that staleness. Yeah. I haven't played him a lot, and the games I've played, if I'm playing for fun, I want to play Genie. If I'm playing competitively, I hate playing as Genie. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Me too. It's because it's too. It's the same with Raptors. Like I mentioned, the Raptors and Genie, both in my top favorite fighters. But in competitive, I almost never go them because they're too swingy.
It's too risky. You're right. It's too risky. You're either gonna win hard or you're gonna lose hard. I want someone that can win every game if I'm playing for competitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good. That's cool that they're side by side there. It's interesting. This is an interesting battle, actually. We got Dracula versus Robin Hood, Muldoon versus Achilles, Deadpool versus Beowulf, Spider-Man versus... We should battle these. These are all really, really, really good matchups, actually.
Funny.
Interesting matchups. Okay, well, my number 5. My number 5 is... We're getting to... We're getting to the cream of the crop here. You think it's a crossover?
Yeah, I think it's a crossover.
Okay. My number 5
I'll let
is...
you know when it's my turn.
My number 5 is She-Hulk. I don't think She-Hulk is a crossover with you. But I could be wrong.
I'll just say it now. No, She-Hulk is not.
Yeah.
Not one of my
I picked. If in my mind you hate She-Hulk.
One of my top 1.
Yeah. Yeah. She-Hulk. Okay, so She-Hulk, by the way, when she came out, was way up there as well. She catapulted herself to the top. She threw herself to the top, actually, you could say. And all my experiences, I'm making my toes so angry with my list. I love it. All of my experiences of losing games because of my Lady Justice pulling a 1.
Oh yeah.
Have dropped her down to number 5.
A little too swingy for you?
The RNG, when it goes well, it is a glorious moment. I once pulled that, whatever that card is. I was against Shy Guy for Smash, and we were on Hanging Gardens. He was at high ground. He attacked with his, I think he was on high ground. He was Houdini. He attacked with his big reveal. I threw my Lady Justice. He boosted it to like a 9 or whatever. I discarded, my discard was his 4.
Oh, wow.
So I blocked for 8. When that happens, it's beautiful. When you block for 2, into the same thing.
Making other people miserable.
And here's the other thing is when you block, so if you only had 1s in your deck and I use it to block, I'm not disappointed at all. Does that make sense? Like, it's when, there's only one left in your deck, the rest are 3s, and maybe there's like 4 2s. And I, like, for example, Yanenga, and I hit your 1, that's when I'm frustrated. When the odds are, that's why die rolling is so frustrating. But like when the odds are I should get this and I don't, that hurts so bad. So that's why she dropped. Yeah. Why she is up so high though is because her 5 that makes you discard 2. Her ability is so fun to just throw stuff. You get to choose if you want to damage in the zone. That ping damage. Do I just chuck this 2 that I'm not going to play? And when do you throw stuff? I've lost games before because I didn't throw my 1 at the start of the turn, and if I had, I would have won. That's a fun, like, losing that way is actually a fun lesson. I enjoy that. The 9, do you play the 9, or do you throw it as the 3? You know, and then she has recursion with her 4s. She has a low feint. If you mess up that feint on defense, you are in trouble. So she's challenging to play. She's a move 2 melee solo fighter that works.
I gotta say, I don't mind playing against her. There's a lot of Marvel characters I don't like playing against. I don't mind playing against her. I don't mind playing as her either. So, for what that's worth.
Yeah, no, I that makes sense. Medusa said that's because She-Hulk is a poorly designed character that is frustrating for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Riley is so funny. Riley loves Mitosis' rage. Okay, that was my number.
You like fuel, right?
Was that 5? My number 5.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah. Okay, for my number 5, I have another extinct predator. That is the T-Rex.
Yep, that was in my my short list.
Oh yeah. Well, I do like the T-Rex.
I'm surprised that Beowulf is in this list.
Beowulf?
Yeah, I said I'm surprised Beowulf is in this super aggro list. But,
yeah. Well, I guess I'm finding out I like aggro, but just wait. Okay, so T-Rex, move 1 fighter, brilliant. No, the problem I had is whether people want to admit it or not. T-Rex, they had to form stupid rules around her for her stupid tail, and I think it was done stupidly.
Okay.
But I enjoy how the character plays. If they could fix the large fighter problem where they're like stretching over things and they're not here because the lines are too long and stuff, that just bothers my mind. I don't know why. Anyway, T-Rex, I love the constant pressure, and like you're already scared of the miniature, and then even if you've never played, you're scared because you can see the miniature. You think you're just gonna lose.
Yes.
But
yes,
you're also like if you can play on a smaller map or on some maps, even some bigger maps that benefit her. Things that you would think don't benefit her, maps like Baskerville, actually she does well on Baskerville.
Right.
The fact that she has an extra range.
Yep.
The range of 2, so she can stay away from people still and chomp at them and take hits. Like, oh, you want to throw a 5 at me? I can afford to take a 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no other character could say, yeah, I can afford to take a 5 most of the time.
Right.
And so T-Rex is just, yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll just keep attacking you. And sure, you got 3 feints in your deck. We can easily get through those and continue on. Like, you have to run. Most of the time, in most matchups, you have to just run from her. You have to deck her out. And
right.
Usually, in my experiences, I win more than I lose with T-Rex because she's hard to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, she came into the ladder. She was in the ladder.
Yeah.
And every single T-Rex game was the exact same. It was, okay, let me pick this person that can run away from T-Rex and just run. You just lived the whole game, just running away. The whole game. I think T-Rex Paddock was in that season. It's just, yeah, it's the same game. It's the same game every time. When that box came... Yeah. When you opened that box and saw the T-Rex mini, yeah. Like if a tear didn't roll down your cheek, then you're not breathing. You know, like that moment was a big moment. I think for everybody that played Unmatched, that moment was massive. Yeah. And then playing in the set, like the first however many plays were so fun. Once we realized what Sattler did to T-Rex, and once we realized that it was no longer very fun, But without realizing that, in those first however many plays that took before we figured that out, like, there was so much fun in that box. And they still, both fighters, in my opinion, I know a lot of people aren't Sattler fans, but both fighters work really well in the game as overall and in the meta, and can be played against each other. It doesn't work well, but everywhere else they do have a place. Were you raising your hand because you're not
you gotta blame the right? I'm not a fan of Sattler. I wish she was never in the game.
Sure.
Anyway, that's my biggest complaint of all of Unmatched Sattler.
Really? Not Doctor Strange. Not Doctor Strange.
Nope. As far as a character that is in Unmatched, like, why is this random a paleontologist in Unmatched? It blows my mind. Like, if it was in a game of just dinosaurs and Jurassic, yeah, that makes sense to me. But in a fighting game, I don't like it. But
well,
that's personally.
Okay, so then what about Shakespeare?
Yeah, I don't like him.
Okay, so if someone doesn't have like any reason to be fighting, why are they there? Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So like, even, and some people will argue things like people wanted Elvis Presley in. What? Why? Because he's iconic? That's stupid to me. I'm going to start ranting here, but
no, hey, go.
Big deal. He
please.
has a black belt in karate. No.
Yeah. So what about Houdini? Because Houdini doesn't.
Well, you can
battle people.
Right. Okay. So there are certain characters that work in my mind, like Houdini. Like Rosie is now going to work because they put her in a mech, and like who else?
Sherlock.
Tesla. They work for me because they've changed them to be something more.
Yeah. Okay. They stretch the truth in some way. Yeah. Okay.
So that's more acceptable to me. If they do that with Shakespeare, I'll be fine. If they stretch the truth,
just
they're
give him.
Gonna have him like right. They're gonna have him write plays. I'm not for that, but.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen. To each his own. That was my stance, 100%. For a long time, that was my stance.
Thank you.
I think Houdini changed my mind. I think,
Okay.
And Sattler changed my mind. I didn't care so much that it was this girl using science to beat a T-Rex. Once it was fun. Once the play was fun.
Within the box, but outside the box, which that's what Unmatched is to me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, like, in what universe is she gonna take on? I don't know. Is she gonna take on anyone? Like even another human like Robin Hood? Robin Hood's gonna shoot her in the head and she'll be dead.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I agree. I agree thematically. My biggest complaints, since we mentioned it, my biggest complaints are Doctor Strange, but he's not my number one. I don't think actually. I think he's a problem, but there's ways to play around him. Biggest complaints. I think the letdowns where a character is not tuned enough, those are more frustrating than someone just being too strong.
Sure. As far as the meta, yeah, you're exactly right.
Because you can play the two strong fighters, like the people that are OP. You can't even play the people that are undertuned.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that would be the biggest letdowns. Would be just Teen Spirit in general. Squirrel Girl, I was excited for Squirrel Girl, and then that just was a letdown. Yeah, there's Brains and Brawn was I do love the set. She-Hulk's in my set, and Spider-Man, so obviously I'm a big fan of it. But it could have had some more.
Doctor Strange to come.
Not gonna say he's not coming.
He's number one. I quit.
Mitosis would actually punch his computer. My number 4.
Yeah, let's hear it.
There could be crossover. There could be. I don't think so.
Okay.
Still, I think I nailed it. I think I nailed it. I think Houdini might be the only crossover. But you did say, and someone picked up on it. I think Riley picked up on it. Yeah, you did say we said aggro. Your thing's aggro, and then you said you guys just wait, which makes us think, man, you're going so passive. It could be like a Daredevil, but I've got a lot of passive fighters, so it could be one of mine. But I don't think so. I think it's going to be.
I never want to fight against or as Daredevil again.
Okay. Winter Soldier 2 as well?
What? No, I don't mind the Winter Soldier.
Okay. He's really fun. I love him. He was just outside my top 11.
Okay.
Little Red. Little Red is my number 4.
Okay, yeah. If I had sat down and thought of your list, I probably would have put her out prior.
Okay. So Little Red she was my number. A lot of these fighters were my number 1 for a while. Little Red was my number 1 for the longest time. Actually, she was the highest.
I think a lot of people, yeah.
And the game that she gets to play is just so rewarding and it's so fun. It's so challenging. Getting your cards to combo correctly. It is one of the most fun mini games that you're playing, and that you can play in Unmatched. It is so fun.
You like a game within a game.
I love having games within games. I want to I want to have to use so much strategy to win. I like if we're doing a game is like 100% luck or 100% skill. I want 99% skill. Maybe 100% skill. I've played 100% skill games like Food Chain Magnate. And then, of course,
100% skill. You have Deadpool on your list. I don't get
that. Well, this is what I'm saying. I don't. Food Chain Magnate was really, really fun the first time I played it, and it's just it's too much. It's too much. I don't want my brain to die. So, maybe my percentage would be like 75-25. Okay, something like that, where it's 75% skill, maybe 80% skill, and then a lower. Yeah. Tay can read the comments, guys. Tater can read the comments.
I can see it. Look who's blogging. What's up?
Hey, look who's blogging.
Hope your kid's watching.
Yeah, oh yes, your son has good taste. So Little Red with the card combos, that's one thing. Healing, 8 healing, like minimum, but not minimum, because if the huntsman dies. That's the game you're playing too. Is like you have to position to protect the huntsman, because if he dies, you're in trouble. So you're playing the reverse. Well, it's not a reverse Achilles. It's a very similar game of Achilles. Of hey, let me send Little Red at you. Hit her as much as you want. Attack her. I want you to do it because I want huntsman not taking any hits, and I want to drop. I want to be able to get those heals off. I want to get those heals off so I can get that. And you can even bring it back. You could heal for, I don't know what it is. What is it? Is it
8?
No, you could heal for
If you recur to them, yeah.
Is it 20? Like max?
It's something ridiculous, but almost no one ever does it.
Right. You don't do that, but you could do that. So the opponent wants to kill a huntsman, but he's ranged, and if he hits you from melee, it's going to be a 6 value attack. She has recursion. She can just go with those 2s. She has so much. Okay, so healing's, I think, probably my favorite thing to do in the game. My second favorite thing to do in the game is like auto damage, self damage. Not self, but like damage I can just deal to you because my card says you're gonna take it. I love cards that say that. And she gets to throw you 3 damage at you. She gets to throw you like when I think it's what large teeth you have with the one that deals you the printed value of your card. Man, it's just a game again. It's like, okay, I need to line that up with your 6. I need to line that up with your 5. Those kinds of things. And
It's so
what?
It's threatening for her to have that pelt on top of her deck, and you don't want to attack because it could come back at you.
Right. Yeah, and so like those games are like, do I throw pelt on top of my deck? Like I might even maneuver and boost to drop a pelt on if I'm at low hand count, so that you don't come at me and attack me and kill me, even if my hand is just schemes. Like,
sure.
Like those mind games are so fun to do. Little Red, super high, but she's at 4. She actually, right before this call, I moved her up to 4 because she was behind She. I was like, no, she can't be behind She-Hulk. She's gotta be higher. But I think because of her relevance in the meta and how she has dropped down, due to the massive card effects that we're seeing on all the fighters nowadays, and Huntsman not having a feint, being really squishy, not being able to block for more than 2, a lot of action gains in new fighters, she does fall off because Huntsman is so much easier to kill now with the newer fighters. So I think that's why she's fallen down to my number 4. Who do you have?
I always nuke the Huntsman.
Yeah. Yeah, you
always.
That's your objective. You find him, you kill him, and then you will win. All right, what's your number 4?
Number 4 is Angel. I'm just kidding.
I was
it is
shocked.
My number 4, Angel is the most bland character in the whole game. Anyway, my number 4 is Bloody Mary.
Oh, okay. So
now,
she was in the next. I was
not a
4.
Close, yeah. She's my number 4 because I don't like the character. I'm not a horror fan. I'm the one that reskinned it as the Cerberus, especially for my kids' sake, so that they wouldn't be scared out of their mind.
Yeah, Riker's scared when he sees the artwork.
It's pretty spooky.
Mm-hmm.
And but I love her playstyle. I wish she was better, but having the 3 actions and playing around. What's neat to me in Unmatched is playing around certain things, whether that's mostly it's going to be positioning. I like playing around and positioning. It's very important. But playing around that card count, and I have 4 cards. Are you going to attack me? Or I have 3 cards, and I might have one of my few cards that draw me an extra card, so you don't know. And are you playing an ambush to make it so I have to discard anyway and stuff to mess up my hand? You're trying to really mess up their hand and deal with their and the opponent's trying to have those feints ready at all times for the gain actions, because you're not going to get. You might get 3 in a real match in a competitive setting. You might get 3 off.
Sure.
In a game where you are not off, but the availability to get one of those 3 actions. And what I love to do, I shouldn't expose myself like this, but what I love to do is on my 3rd action, play the
4 versatile.
The mirror, the 4 versatile, and just let them take 2 damage, and I just sit there and
absolutely
and save the other cards for later, and wait, and they get more scared because now they only have 2 feints, and you have 2 of those gain action things.
Yeah.
The closer than she appears. So you can do like closer than she appears, then the scheme that lets you take a card of their hand.
Yep.
I can't think of it at the moment. And then, or it gives them that decision. You get to peek at their hand and say, "Oh, they don't have a feint. Now, in my 3rd action, I can do this."
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. No,
I love that.
Yeah. She was the biggest. She was very high on my list, and then I dropped her out. But she's so much fun. Like, she's so much fun. I wish she was a little better, but she is so much fun to play.
Yeah, she's not my number 3. Sorry, guys.
And by the way, you should have made her your number 3. That would have been so thematic.
Well, she is closer than she appears. Than you think.
That's really good. My number 3.
I'm a dad. I can make jokes.
My number 3 was my number 2, and a lot of you were correct.
It's a Marvel character, right?
No. A lot of you guys were correct on who this was at number 2, but I have moved her down. By the way, female power on my side at the top 5. Almost.
And do I have any females
Almost
on my
all
list?
top 5.
Oh, I got Mary and Rex. They're my 2 females.
Dr. Ellie Sattler. Chillin'.
No.
Chillin'.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding at all.
We got all the Jurassics on our list, though.
Dude, that's come on. That isn't when they can get that. That's a solid set. Solid IP. Dr. Ellie Sattler is so fun. She has, first off, she's not great. Okay, she's not great, and that is one reason why I enjoy her a lot. Is that she's not busted. 2, she has a lot of auto damage, massive auto damage, but it's not just guaranteed. It's not like, I hate, man, there are certain games, like I played Gloomhaven, and there are cards that are like, kill an opponent in your zone. I don't ever bring that card in because it's too busted. I don't want to bring that card. I'd rather have a card that says deal 5 damage or deal 1 damage to everybody in the zone, or like that kind of stuff. I don't want to just kill this guy. That's not fun for me. I want, if this, then this. Like, if you're too close to her, or if you are in her space, or then you're gonna deal damage. Those are fun for me. But she's got the auto damage, and then she has the magical, beautiful healing that is immediately. She's at 1 health, and you go immediately heal. What? I get to immediately heal? I'm defender, and I get to immediately heal?
Yeah, it's nuts.
So you can't kill me? Like, okay. So that is really, really awesome. When to use your insight, when to not use your insight. She's got such low values, but a lot of her cards can get just a lot of value if you have the 0. It can become a 7 or even higher. The 2 becomes a 7 if you are using it well. Malcolm, you have to keep Malcolm alive the whole time before he gets his 2 cards. Once Malcolm dies, then you're gaining like way less insight, and that's a massive hit on your whole setup. If you can get off his card that takes, I can't think of the name right now, but the card that takes out their card from their deck and heal off it, like if you get that off, you are feeling really good.
Yeah.
She's a blast.
Yeah, those are essential.
Yeah,
I think I already expressed my main disdain for her is just that the character in Unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
The one other thing I really don't like, design-wise, is I feel like I would almost stake my life on this, that they just put out cards for quotes. Because a lot of the cards are like, what? Why do I need this card in my deck? Like, this doesn't synergize well. Or like, there's a couple schemes, mostly Malcolm cards. I'm like, what is this? And some of it's just for the meme of him with a shirt off. They have the card, or just a quote from the movie. Must go faster. Like, okay, why is there all these one-off cards that just don't make sense? I don't like that.
Yeah. I feel you. And a lot of people did not like the one-off cards, and I loved it because if they were missing those quotes, I would have been sad. And more one-off, like, I love. Okay, here's the other thing: is I have there's a big part in my heart for art. I'm not an art snob. Like, I don't like it like that. I don't want to go to a gallery and look at a piece of like a blue canvas with an orange dot in it and like study it for hours. I hate that garbage. But man, I love good art that I like. I don't care about what other people think about it. So getting more art in that game from the movie that I love was a huge thing for me. Getting more quotes of it. Again, I watched the movie and I'm just like, oh, quote, 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 quote. I'm thinking of the cards as I'm playing them. For me, that's a huge thing. Movies, art, and board games. Those are my, not art. Movies and board games are my things, but like art's just a way I can like intertwine both of them. But yeah, look who's blogging. I do have 2 sets. I'm ready for an overlap should it happen. I think Houdini would be the only one if there will be an overlap. But at the same time, I have 3 potential fighters here that could be his fighters that are not Houdini. 2 of them I think would make it. So the third one I've never seen, but it absolutely matches up with the playstyle that we're seeing so far. So we will find out.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was my number 3. Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is one of the OG characters from Battle of Legends Volume 1. The King Arthur, and
wow,
Merlin with his sidekick King Arthur.
Let me go find that card real quick. Sorry, that was not.
Dust that one off.
Yeah, let me dust that sucker off.
Okay, so
you're gonna have to explain this.
Yeah, Arthur has been one of my favorites since the beginning, and when I realized he was bad after a few months in to owning the game, everyone was starting to realize he was bad. The Discord wasn't even started yet. Like, people weren't talking about it. And I was like, man, this guy's kind of bad. I'm going to play him more. I'm going to make him work. That was my goal. I want to make him work.
Cool.
And so I play him. I've played hundreds and hundreds of games. Probably a couple hundred games with King Arthur.
Wow.
And he's just amazing. People every time I play, I have more wins with him than losses. I should actually take a look here at how much I have. But let's see. Okay. He's got some dumb stuff, but he's got some good stuff. And the big problem with him, obviously, is he'll deck out. He doesn't have enough cards because he's got a boost to do anything. He's got a boost.
Yeah.
And so, let's see how many games I have with this guy. Like 146. That's what I have recorded, but I didn't start recording until the site was made to where I could record. But I played him a ton when he first came out. A lot. And so I have an 83% win rate with him, which is amazing for Arthur. But that's not because he's such a good character, but because people underestimate him, like, oh, I'm playing against Arthur, so obviously it's going to be a win for me, right? That's their mentality. I don't have to try hard. If you go on my YouTube, you can actually see my game versus a Sherlock player, and I beat him. And it's because perhaps things went in my favor with card draw and whatnot, but that shouldn't happen. King Arthur shouldn't be beating Sherlock.
Right.
And I love that. I love the feeling of when I play this low tier character, I can take out these other characters. When that happens, it feels good. And it might not happen to a lot of people very often, you wouldn't think, but if you grind him out, you actually do get to know the character a lot better. And he's got so many different things he can do. Always play on Baskerville Manor. That's what I always pick. If I'm picking and I go first, I go on Baskerville Manor.
Okay.
That's what I do. Merlin has so many good cards to use with moving fighters around, with staying strong with bewilderments, and one thing that I've learned over the few hundred matches that I've done with King Arthur is that you always use as tempting as it may be to get a big value with King Arthur with the momentous shift on attack, you use momentous shift with Merlin. Use momentous shifts with Merlin, and if they know that concept, then you're going to mix it up with regroups.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
Regroup in momentous with Merlin, and so there's just what I love about him is he takes so much to learn, and there's not much reward after you learn him all. But you do know him better than most people if you put the time into it.
Cool.
Yeah, King Arthur. It's a great character. Also, like a great idea. Like King Arthur in Unmatched just makes sense,
right?
As well. Being able to boost Excalibur on deck, people. It's great.
I love hearing your passion. I love hearing your passion and your love for a low tier fighter. That's cool.
Yeah.
Look Who's Blogging is asking if Spike is your number one because of King Arthur being so high.
Spike the dog from Rugrats? Is he spoiling sets that aren't out yet? All right.
If there's a Rugrats set, sign me up. Can you imagine? Oh my! Can you imagine a Rugrats, a Wild Thornberries, Rocket Power, Johnny Bravo, Ed, Ed and Eddie? Okay.
You're picking the worst possible cartoons of that era to be. You're not picking like I could see.
I know what you're gonna say, and I don't like the ones you're gonna say. I don't like the ones you're gonna say. I don't like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I don't care about Hey Arnold. I don't like Dex. I do. Dexter's Laboratory was good, but not. It was not the best. Not top tier.
You don't want to play as Helga and have a card that says "Move It, Football Head."
No, I don't want to do that. No. Man, cartoons. I could go down. I've watched a lot of cartoons in my day.
That's a rabbit hole. Me too. I'm sure we have a lot in common with the old 90s cartoons. Even though you're significantly older than me.
I am a significantly older man.
I think you're like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, how old are you?
30.
Okay, yes, 4 years. I am 34. We both have very nice mustaches, I will say. So we have that going for us. My number 2. I want guesses. Give me guesses in the chat because Courage the Cowardly Dog. Yeah, no mitosis. Sorry, buddy.
I know you're number 2. I know it. It's gotta be Moon Knight.
Why?
I just feel like you don't have enough Marvel on there for knowing you. And I know Moon Knight is such a popular pick. You seem like the type of guy to be such a Moon Knight fanboy.
Okay.
And I think I already know your number 1, maybe not, but it's gotta be Moon Knight, right?
This is not Moon Knight. This is not Moon Knight.
Khonshu?
I will tell you, it is Khonshu. No. So Moon Knight, little side tangent for Moon Knight because I've said this before. I have for a long time loved playing as Moon Knight. He was very high on my list. I do not win as Moon Knight anymore.
Oh.
Okay. I used to win as Moon Knight all the time. I stopped winning as Moon Knight. I only lose to Moon Knight. I don't win as Moon Knight. He is no longer. Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a sad world to live in. So he is now way lower on my list, just due to the sadness that he brings me.
Okay.
On a personal level.
Okay.
But this fighter lines up. First off, it is a female. And this fighter lines up with the play styles that we are seeing that I am so fond of.
Elektra?
Don't make me throw up.
It's Gorgon?
Heck no! Get her out of it! Alright, it is Dr. Jill Trent. Before any more terrible things are said. Dr. Jill Trent. She's my home slice. She's my home skillet.
I love her.
And it's interesting because she's not been out for very long. But she moved her way up to number 2 in my heart. And it is because of the endless possibilities. Widow, good guess. Very good guess on Widow. I really enjoy the games I play with Widow. Yeah, solid guess, but I think she's like number 13 or 14 for me. She just didn't crack that next tier because for Widow, I think it's more of like every time I play her, as much fun as I have, it feels like homework a little bit. So I love playing her, but there's definitely homework involved. Dr. Jill Trent is no homework. Yen, I don't play Yen anymore. I just don't play her. I stopped playing Yen. Yeah. I stopped playing Faintless, I think, for the most part.
I'm happy to see Jill up so high for you. That's a good one.
Thank you. But yeah, so Jill, with the gadget, you know, it's again the little game. It's a little mini game you're playing. What do you want? Do you want to have this or this? Are you bluffing with your gadget, or are you actually using it because you need it and want it? That's really fun. And the anticipating moments, like, okay, I need to switch to this item because I think I'm gonna draw this thing. That's always a fun little game to play. It's called Jen's Faint's called a 5-value Jaws. That's funny. Yeah, so Daisy's schemes are awesome. Recursion is one of those like things I also love. So recursion is super fun for me. Healing, auto damage, and recursion is really fun. And those Daisy schemes, man, if you can keep that person alive, positioning, rewards positioning, keeping Daisy alive and getting those schemes off is going to get you so much value.
Yeah.
She is and she can hit pretty hard.
Swapping between gadgets a lot, or do you stay on one or the other?
I go her Hypno Ray for the first, I don't know, probably till I'm down to like 6 health or so. I'll rock Hypno Ray the whole first chunk, and then I will switch it. It depends on what it's really like. I'm gonna switch it if I know I'm gonna get heal off. So
you ever switch it just to throw people off though? That's fun.
I will switch it to throw people off, but I don't usually do it I don't usually do it the way that. Just a second, my God, this thing just popped up. Okay, let's ignore that. Ignore this. So I will do. Okay. Oh my gosh, everything's popping up. So I will do my gadgets. I will use the Hypno Ray and throw a big value attack. I won't go the healing and throw a small value unless it just makes sense. There's times for everything. There's always times for everything. So the 1 value attack that you can get them to discard, man, when you get that discard off, it is so rewarding. All of her plays are so rewarding. She is so tanky. Daisy has 2 5s that are versatile. Then you have 2 any 5s that you're only going to take combat damage. You're not taking anything else. Then you have 2 defenses that will block it will make your value stay as the printed value. Yeah. When you line up all of those, you are untouched. And then, I took damage. Let me heal it up. Let me play my 3 value versatile, get a healing back, and then let me recur that as many times as I want with the Daisy schemes, and just be this tanky tank. Yeah, she's definitely the way she's played is my love language. That's Jill Trent, number 2. Also, she's a doctor. You know what? I like doctors.
Yeah, so we got Dr. Ellie, Dr. Jill. Next is Dr. Strange. All right. I guess we continue. Okay, so can you guess my number 2?
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. I'm going to give you 2 choices. Okay. I'm gonna double down and say Houdini is number 2, but also Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
You have a nasty Bruce Lee. So I'm gonna say it's either Houdini or Bruce Lee.
My Bruce Lee win rate is not good. Okay, so those are your 2 guesses?
Well, because I'm locked in at number 1. If your number 1 is number 2, then I would switch the order. But I'm you have to have who I think it is at number 1, unless you're just trying to be spicy.
Or sly.
Or sly.
No. My number 2 is a crossover. And it is not Houdini.
Okay, then pause. Let me go. Then I'll say Little Red.
Okay. Anyone in the chat have a guess? All right.
Dracula.
It is Dracula. You're right.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Dracula is one of my most played fighters. I love his play style. I love the I already mentioned some things when you had him, but not just him, but his sisters also. There are some crazy things you can do with the amount of schemes that he has, the passes, the hiding, the keeping your sisters alive, the trying to get the rabbiting seductions off. I tell you, in one game, I was on a map. I can't remember what character I was fighting against, but I couldn't reach them without overdrawing and killing myself.
Okay.
So I had a rabbiting seduction. So I moved him closer, Dracula, closer to the sisters, dealt Dracula 1 damage because he was at 2 health. Now he's down to 1 health. So I could get closer to attack the, what was it? Yeah. I'm thinking here. Yeah. And so I moved adjacent to them with 1 health, damaging myself 1 to be hit off to kill them.
Wow.
Otherwise, if I would have maneuvered, I would have had to take 2 damage and die. But because I could use that 1 scheme, and I had to move it closer due to the positioning, I had to move closer to the sister also, deal him 1 damage, which was fine because I could take it right over. That was one thing. One other thing I love to do is fake the beast forms and throw something else out there.
Right.
Or attack with the sisters and they feel like they have to defend because it still could be an ambush.
Yep.
I love his best defense, which is do my bidding. And you just can look at their hand and say,
yeah,
I like to play on I like to get close to them and take 2 hits. Some fighters like to stay right by you and do 2 hits. I'll save my second. I'll do I just said it. What's the card name? The
Do My Bidding.
The look. Yeah, I keep wanting to say "look into my eyes," so that's a different
look
card.
Into my
do
eyes.
my bidding and take their versatile card that they were going to defend with and play it on an attack.
Yes.
And then go in and attack them. It's great.
Yep.
And so, for those reasons, mostly the scheming, the intricate play, and positioning and playing around with the sisters, love Dracula.
Yeah,
what a great character.
That's awesome. It's cool that that's our crossover. I think that's our only one. I'm positive that's our only one because I don't think you will have my number 1.
Not if the character has an N in its name.
My number 1. No surprises here, guys. And I'm not doing this just because this is like, oh, it's his Captain Crockpot's thing. He has to. No, guys, listen. Black Panther is the greatest unmatched fighter ever to come out. He is the most fun fighter that you will ever play as. Ever. If you want... Here's the deal. Ready? Here's the deal. On the right map, okay, against the right fighter, you can play him super aggro. And that will satisfy your... My Tosa said, my response does not fit into the character limit of a YouTube comment.
Well, we don't... yeah.
Guys, oh, you're not appreciating what Black Panther does.
If I had a top 5 characters I don't want to play against, he would definitely be in the top, in those top 5.
Well, but so when you play against him, you just try to fatigue him out.
Yeah, you do try that.
Yeah, just fatigue him out. That's your goal. With Black Panther, rightly it does a lot. Okay, I'm not saying he's the strongest fighter. In no way is Black Panther the strongest fighter, and that's clear. It's obvious. If you don't get a Shuri scheme off, you're probably not winning. You get off 2, you're probably winning. You get off 1, you got a 50-50. But man, that fun of getting those cards, I get to take your card, I get to have it, it's mine. Do I want you to have it back? Maybe. Then I'll use it. Do I want to play fatigue? Do I want to attack? Boost it? Guys, you just can't put a price on theft. On taking someone else's cards and then making them your own, and then you get to do whatever you want with them.
You're crazy.
All right, so Mitosis said, Panther's decision making is all a smokescreen. Most of his cards are the same and pretty dull. His deck works against itself. His power budget is so poorly distributed across the deck. Steals.
Steal.
Well, so I think that he's another comment coming with the second half of this.
Yeah, but I'll finish his steal. Stealing the opponent's card feels bad when you can't get it back. And that he steals, it feels bad for the opponent, right? It feels good for you. But this feels terrible to have it play that way. I designed a custom character that plays similar before Black Panther came out, and it's not nearly as awful feeling.
Okay.
Because you feel like you can still win because of the low health and stuff, and a few other things. But Black Panther, especially having Shuri just take 2 for free, bothers me. That's the biggest thing.
But she's so fragile.
Yeah.
She's so fragile.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, the fact that he's not even he's not very top tier at all, right? And so I think he's in a good place because of how frustrating it is for people to play against. Let's just imagine if he had that playstyle, but he was Doctor Strange level of strong.
Yeah.
That would be disgusting. People would you'd have to burn. You'd literally have to burn the set. But being in the state that he's in, it's like I think it's perfect. I will gladly play him and lose over playing 50% of the fighters and win. I think that is a good sign of, man, that's one of your favorite fighters. If I don't care if I lose with them, I had a great time playing him. That's my number 1, Black Panther. I know, obviously, guys, this is a very divisive, very controversial top 10. I have Muldoon. I've got Ingen. I am not being kind with my favorites. My favorites are my favorites because they're my favorites. I enjoy them. I enjoy the games that you get to do within the thing. Mitosis said, steals are just feels bad. If you steal something good, your opponent feels bad. If you steal something bad, you feel bad. No decision making or skill was involved in it. There are decision making. There is some decision making. When to play your schemes. Sometimes I'll keep to make it look like I have the Shuri scheme, even though I don't. I wouldn't advise that. Don't do that. Sometimes I will have the scheme and I won't play it turn 1 because I need to position. Go get position first and then play it. There's some stuff. There's some decisions there, and then knowing what's in their deck, knowing what's in their so the Shuri schemes, yes. If we're talking just Shuri, no skill, sure, that's fine. When we're talking, do you use your 3s to take a card? Definitely skill, because you're getting rid of a 3 value boost. So throwing that card is actually a big decision point. And you got 3 of them. Do you keep those for the 3 value boost, or do you throw them as damage? And then, so then you throw them to get the card to play for that fatigue kind of thing. Take some of their cards, and then the 4 value defense is huge skill, because if you don't win combat, you're getting nothing. So if you don't play that card, like if you're not getting 2 of those a game, then you're not doing him right. You should be getting, 3 is ideal, obviously, But if you're not getting 2, then you're doing something unfortunate. And then the counterplay to that is, if you're attacking, you can, let's say your opponent knows, let's say you're Black Panther and they are going to attack you. They know that you're probably going to play your 4, so then they throw a feint. But they're going to throw the feint because it's a good play, and so then maybe you throw something else. So there's definitely some chess interactions.
Yeah. Something.
Your face, I love it. There's definitely a strategy for saying, "Oh, hey, I stole your beast form," because it feels so good, and you just laugh. You just laugh. Okay, all right.
Yeah, hilarious.
Who's your?
Or if they're a character with like only one special card, and you steal that one. You're like, well, I know the game's over, but I got to sit here for 15 more minutes.
That sounds like a King Arthur main. That sounds like someone who plays King Arthur a lot.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. You take their 6 and you just keep it. What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? Yeah.
Well, you could boost with it. It's a 3 value boost, so.
I would never boost. I would never give it back to you. So then you can lady it back.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your number 1?
Wukong. No surprise.
No surprise. Which is funny because our top 2 could arguably be called the most toxic fighters in the game.
Yeah. So I'm not going to try to defend mine because I realize the issues. I realize there's big issues, so let's set those aside for now and talk about them in a minute.
Wait, why couldn't we do that with my... I had to defend mine. I had to claw and scratch for my pick.
Yeah, well...
Thank you, mitosis.
The difference here. You want me to go over the difference?
The only fighter worse than Panther, he says.
I don't know. It can feel really bad to go up against Wukong when you're Bigfoot or you're trying to constantly get in and you can't. But I love the character. I love the lore. That's what initially drew me. That's what I wanted from the beginning. It was one of my top fighters. I have a list of fighters I want in Unmatched next. And Beowulf, Wukong, and Robin Hood were all on that list. And Dracula. And they've all made it in. And
cool.
Wukong was my most hyped. I have one more character that I want more than Wukong. That is coming in the future since I'm a playtester. I know this. But Sun Wukong is my most wanted fighter other than this other one. And so Sun Wukong, I love the idea of the clones. It could have been done a little bit better. And for my personal self, I print off cards that look exactly like these cards, and I use them in my own games. I did it for a couple characters. I did it for Sherlock, made him weaker, and I did it for Wukong, and I made him weaker. And Arthur, and I made him stronger. And when I play with my friends, that's what we use.
Oh, cool.
But Sun Wukong, the 72 transformations recursion, the Ox form that you can boost up against the constant threat of that and it coming back, the fact that healing costs health, essentially, because you have to bring out a clone which deals you damage.
Right.
Clone then heals you with the... whenever you look at deck counts, usually you're like... You go look at your deck counts and Wukong's got like 10 cards left and your opponent has like 1 left in their deck. And you're like, how? That's impossible.
Right.
And Wukong's just running away the whole game and can do that. I love an aggressive Wukong. Some matchups, very rarely, but some matchups you can go and should go aggressive, which most people don't realize. I have over 200 games of Wukong. I'd have to check my stats again, but the fact that he can play whatever game. All these other parties, I love it. I love that he can sit back. I love that he can go in, because an aggressive Wukong isn't very fun either to go up against. Because regardless of the lack of card draw, the fact that he's making you discard or have the option to discard or playing his double attacks, and that I'll get to the mind game in a second, but the fact that he's got 3 of those, the Rio Jingle Bomb.
Yep.
And then he's got the 3 taunting laughters.
Yep.
He's got the infinite strikes to attack, and then he could move away and draw again or keep attacking.
Yeah.
I love that. One of my favorite things to do is use the infinite strikes when they think I am going to use the Oxform, or vice versa, because the infinite strikes is gains action.
Yep.
And so what I love to do is surround them with clones and use an Oxform, because then they faint, because they think of the infinite strikes because they're surrounded.
Yeah, that's great.
And if my opponent knows that, if I'm playing a more seasoned person, I mix that up. I will still do that in the game, but I'll mix it up, and I might do that to bluff and still use the infinite strikes, and so on. But that's just depending on who you're playing, and what caliber of a level of unmatched player you're playing against. And so, for those reasons, I love him. And of course, the obvious one is the Oxform and the Rio Jingo Bomb. Is it a 0 or is it a 7?
Yes.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the mind games.
You mess that up and take 7, it's over.
Yeah, it's a massive game of rock paper scissors that you're playing, or coin flips that sometimes. Yeah, and the cool thing. So this is where I don't hate Wukong. I love playing as Wukong, and I like playing against Wukong because it is literally Now, what I would not like to do is, if let's say my opponent just randomly took a card out and played it as an attack, I would hate that experience. That wouldn't be fun at all. But when the opponent, it's a challenge. The opponent is saying, okay, I'm going to play against you. A game of rock paper scissors, basically. And it's a mano-y-mano moment of, am I in your head or are you in my head? And how many levels deep are we going? Is it just gonna be? Are we like going 1, or is it like 2 or 3 or 4? Like, how far are we going? You know this, so I know this, so you know this, so that means I can't throw that. Like, those interactions are super fun. I've gotten wrecked by O-Town before, and I've wrecked O-Town before, and he plays a lot of Wukong, so it's fun. It's fun to call out and be like, you know what, hit me, and it's a 0. That feels awesome. And it sucks to say, hit me, and it's the 7. Super fun. I think Wukong is great. He has so many 2-for-1s, and like you were saying with the card draw thing, like those 2-for-1s are huge. You have the Ryu 2-for-1. You have the discard one, the 3 value taunting laughter. That's a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
You have Oxform, which you can bring back. That's 2-for-1. You have the Tortoise form, 2-for-1. So there might be even more, but that's a lot of 2-for-1s. And he just feels good he feels really good to play as. It's always fun to play as. He doesn't have feint, so he's not like, there's definitely ways to beat him. Daredevil's really good into him. You played, we sent you.
Little Red's good into him. Medusa's good into him.
Yeah.
But Bruce can be good into him if he gets the deal 2 damage. Put this back in your hand. There's a slew of characters. Robin Hood's pretty good into him. There's a slew of characters that are good into Wukong.
Yeah.
He doesn't have feint.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, if you can go first,
like Sinbad.
If you can go first and hit that first and get him right out of the gate, that's going to be really beneficial.
Yeah, if you can pin him, yeah.
So, but yeah, we sent you to on our team league. It was fun always picking Wukong and having the opponent know that we were going to give him to Taytertots, and so then we wouldn't in certain situations. And we'd bait certain matchups. That was really fun. But also sending you to Baskerville into Daredevil, and you coming out with the win. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because that shouldn't happen. That should not happen. So yeah, that definitely just speaks to your expertise.
Match. I had to put a lot of brain power into it. I had to think a lot about positioning, every little move, everything I did.
So who? Well, there you go, guys. Those are our top 10s.
Let's go back down our list.
Yeah.
Let's go back down our list real quick.
Okay.
I'll go through yours real quick and give you my thoughts.
Okay.
Quick thoughts, and you can comment or stop me if you want.
Yep.
We'll start with Dracula.
Number 10.
Great pick. It's your best pick by far of the whole bunch. Yeah, he's a fun. I don't know how anyone could hate him. He's a fair character. He's very fair. He's not overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any silver bullet matchups that I can think of right now, like to where he destroys somebody or he just gets. I'm trying to think if he just gets annihilated. I'm sure he does.
He does. He destroys Squirrel Girl, but that's not even a. Who cares?
Everybody does. Okay, and then Muldoon, very fun character, very different. Let's see. I'm gonna look real quick. What do they all have in common? Maybe they don't all have something in common.
For the most part, it's a pretty defensive squad. Pretty non-aggro, fatiguey squad.
Yeah, I notice when I play with you, you play a little bit more defensive than aggressive.
Yeah.
So, Dracula, great. Robert Muldoon, it's a good pick. I don't like the character, but aside from that, like in the one card I mentioned, the bringing back so many workers is kind of ridiculous. Deadpool, good pick. I debated putting him on my list for the fun factor as well.
Oh, cool.
And Spider-Man, every time I play with somebody new, they want to play Spider-Man, usually.
Right. It's such a good intro.
It's a perfect starter character.
Absolutely, the best fighter to give somebody new. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, good pick. I think he's fun to play as, too. I enjoy playing as him.
Yeah.
Houdini is... Here's what happened. Houdini might be on my list one day, but I was more hyped for Genie, so I played him so much more.
Right.
And I could really see myself falling in love with Houdini and him being on here. I just got to give him way more of a chance than I did.
I think that you will love Houdini. I do think you will love him. And that makes sense. So, like, I played Houdini, and O-Town played Genie. And so he was all... Oh, jeez. He was all Genie the whole time.
Wow.
Until I stopped playing Houdini. And then he started playing Houdini. So I can see the same thing for you. Like, okay, you've genied it out. Okay? Give Houdini a spin.
Yeah. Right. And Houdini, I feel like, would last longer. Like I was saying with Sinbad, he grew old and stale. I think Genie might, if I really grinded him out a lot more. Mm-hmm. Houdini, I don't think he'd grow stale as fast. Probably, if ever. I don't think I could play him enough to where he would grow that stale.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is fine. Like I said, she's fine. A lot of people have problems with her. I don't really have much problem with her. I don't mind fighting against her. I don't mind playing as her. She's not like my go-to. I always thought, why would I want to be She-Hulk instead of Hulk? You should have just made Hulk. I'd rather be Hulk. But Justin Jacobson was a lawyer in She-Hulk, so I think that's part of the reason.
Okay.
And then Little Red is loved by so many in the community, and before she came out, like, I was so hyped for Beowulf. Again, same thing with Genie and
I was gonna say,
I was so hyped for Beowulf that Little Red fell off. But I played her enough. I don't think I would love her. I don't like being restricted to what's on top of my deck. Even though you can pretty much mitigate that what you want. I don't want to be restricted in any way. I want to do what I want to do. That's why with Jekyll and Hyde, he's fun, but I still want to do what I want to do. So why am I going to be Jekyll or Hyde at this time? And now I gotta. It can be fun, but I want to be my character, and I want to play as them fully. Don't hold me back.
Yeah,
anyway,
right. Jekyll and Hyde is the only negative ability in the whole Unmatched, and it just feels bad. Yeah. It just feels bad to do it. So, yeah, I don't even consider playing as him.
Yeah. Dr. Ellie Sattler, I already said quite a bit about her. We'll move on to Jill. Jill, I said she was great. I love the pick of Jill. I played her for a while, and I really thought I'd love her the most out of the set, but I don't think I do. I really thought Golden Bat would be on your set with the recursion, the schemes. I thought he would be on your.
He's just outside as well. He dropped a good amount, just because other people moved up. He didn't go down. And they just moved up.
What about Tessa? I thought Tessa would be on your list too.
No, I'm not. He's not in my playstyle.
He's got so much words on his cards. He's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I don't want to read a paragraph every time to learn the character. I already have, but it's a pain to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to read through all that.
I love that part of him. I love the decisions. I love all the text on the cards. Love that.
Because I can't pinpoint a spot in the game where I'm like, it went wrong here. I made the decision wrong here. It's so hard in his game because there's like 300 decisions I had to make.
Right.
So I don't know which way I went wrong and where to correct next time.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And
then Panther,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I really haven't played as him much, though. Maybe I'd be more of a fan if I played as him.
Sorry, just saying, I think you froze. Let me, yeah, there you are. Okay, cool. Definitely play as Panther. Okay, if you want to like Panther, play as Panther. You will like him. If you don't want to like Panther, don't play as him because you will like playing as Panther. It's like I don't want to drink coffee because I don't want to like it. One of those things. So, real quick, I'm just going to go down my list to give them some more context. We don't need to talk about it, but so after after Bloody Mary is Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Golden Bat, Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger, currently Tomoe and Oda, but I don't think so. I think Achilles probably goes up there. And then
Oda's pretty low for me.
I have only played them literally a handful of times, and I was like, yeah, I think this is where they might flesh out at some point. And then we go down.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, later, guys. Thanks for watching. So, okay, with your list, I liked your list. I liked it. I don't play a lot of the fighters. Well, yeah, I don't play a lot of the fighters on there. No.
What's the biggest surprise on my list?
The biggest surprise is looking at your whole list would be Beowulf.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned the whole wanting that fighter, that makes sense. But playstyle wise, that's the most surprising. And then of course King Arthur is obviously a surprise.
Sun Wukong and Beowulf are very defensive, but they can also be aggressive.
Yeah, the way I play Bayo is not aggressive at all. I play full fatigue Bayo, so
yeah, me too.
I don't really see that. The pick that made me regret not having was there were two actually, Achilles and Beowulf. Both of them, when I saw them on your list, I was like, man, I wish they were on my list. So Achilles, because those games, man, when you hear someone talk about like how fun a fighter is, I hope that's what's happening right now. I hope as we're talking about our fighters that people watching are like, you know what? Maybe I'll give that guy a spin. Maybe I'll give that fighter a spin. Maybe I wrote them off, but let me try them again. I would say that, like, I'll go for his fighters, go for my fighters. Mine might be a little more on the defensive side. His is going to be more on the aggressive side overall. Mine might be a little more on the trolly, annoying side, and his might be more on the just, I don't know, aggressive.
Fair.
Yeah, fair, sure. Robin Hood is fun to play as. I always have fun playing as Robin Hood. Always.
Yeah.
I don't play a lot of Robin Hood though, so that's why he's not. That's why he's not here.
Yeah.
I think when Robin Hood came out, or when I started getting into competitive Unmatched, Robin Hood was already out. I think he had just come out or something, and everyone was talking about the big three. And so I played Bigfoot way more because he was the big three, and I was like just like dipping my feet into the competitive scene, and so I never really got into Robin Hood. I'm always down to play, like I'd be down to play Robin Hood right now, but yeah, I just never did. Achilles, super fun. The decisions there, when to kill off Pat, playing that game of I'm gonna send Pat at you, and if you attack him, I might just let you take. I just might just take it. You know, there's a great game there. What cards do you recur? When do you recur them? I had a fun game recently. It was really fun. I just let Pat stay alive the whole time, and I just used my recursion just to keep recurring the recursion, and it went forever. That's super fun. Beowulf. I just have a blast with Beowulf. Absolute blast with him. He is a fatigue monster. Used to be a fatigue monster. The Grendel, again, I just love. He has healing. He's got the auto damage, so he's just a win for me. The Grendel is massive. It's the best card to use in that way. That deals the value of their card. And it's a skill thing, and there's mind games as well, because it's okay. I have two rage. They know I have Grendels left, so they're not going to throw high values, which is a fun game, because if they're not throwing high values, then you can take it or you could block low, but they know you know that, so maybe they do throw. Like, there's a whole thing, and that's just a fun interaction. Raptors, started liking them more. Genie, when I play as him in competitive, I don't enjoy my games. When I play with him in casual, I have a really good time with him.
Agreed.
T-Rex, love the T-Rex. T-Rex is very high on my list for competitive.
Yeah.
And it's just a weirder game. You know, you're just chasing somebody that's running away from you the whole time.
It's so different, yeah. It's
a very different game. I don't love it as much. When she came out, I was a big fan. I think at this point everybody knows. Okay, as this fighter into T-Rex, I have to do this. Yeah. Sometimes you get matches where you're battling and you're fighting, and those are also cool. She's a fun fighter, just not. She wouldn't be top 10 for me, top 15, top 20 maybe. Bloody Mary, big regret here too. Bloody Mary, man, like.
Fun.
Just so fun. Yeah, so fun.
The funnest matchup in all of Unmatched that I've ever played is King Arthur versus Bloody Mary. They're two lower tier characters, and they're pretty even.
They were in the Batter Ladder. I played a lot of Bloody Mary. I played her all throughout that Batter Ladder. And those were awesome games, because you got a lot of Bloody Mary into King Arthur. You got some Bloody Marys into Widows, and Bloody Marys into Deadpool. Those were so fun. All those games were so much fun. Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. Yeah, Bloody Mary's super fun. The three actions, setting that up.
Yeah.
King Arthur, so as much hate as there is on King Arthur for just being weak, when I play as King Arthur, it's really fun.
Out of all the weak characters, though, he's one of the top. I think if it was just a set of all the Buffy and Dr. Jekyll, and Teen Spirit and King Arthur, those weak characters,
yeah,
King Arthur is maybe the top, definitely one of the top, and definitely the most versatile to use out of them. I have more faith in him than the others.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I haven't played him enough to know how really good he is competitively. I do think that he is higher tiered. Merlin is one of the best sidekicks in the game. Still, right, one of the top sidekicks. Not one of the top. So Merlin would be like, I don't know, 15 or so. But there's 47 fighters, so that's pretty high up there. Yeah, I think King Arthur is interesting. When I play King Arthur, really fun. Invisible Man, same thing. Like when I play Invisible Man, super fun. When I play some of those lower tiered fighters, you can have a really good time playing as them in casual play or semi-competitive play, ladder, that kind of thing. And then Dracula, nice pick, respect it. And Sun Wukong, I really enjoy playing as Wukong. I don't play as much anymore. I have definitely veered away from the Faintless fighters. I don't know why. I like having the option of doing it. What'd you say?
He has the coolest mini in the game.
No, he does not.
Name a better one.
Panther.
When Panther's mini was shown, I was like, what is he doing? He's like scooping the ground. This is weird.
Dude, he's coming at you like a tiger. Like a panther.
No, I think you mean he's coming at you like a panther.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that typo. Okay, so,
I love it.
guys,
it's hilarious to me.
There are our top 10s.
Yeah.
Captain Crockpot here. Taytertots down there. Whose list do you like more? Obviously, most of you will like his list more. That's fine. Listen, I'm not offended, okay? That's just no skin off my back. But my list is on the left.
That people don't like, though.
What'd you say?
I got a couple doozies in there that people wouldn't like two of my top 3, King Arthur and Sun Wukong. People probably be against.
We need to
maybe T-Rex.
Tater, we need to screenshot this and play these matchups.
Yeah, do it.
Because one, we would have the most fun ever because we are playing.
It looked good. Yeah, it looks fun.
We would be playing with our. Your camera keeps going away. That's weird. Yeah, we'd be playing with our favorite fighters. So, boom, we're already happy. But then I'm screenshotting it now. But these matchups are actually lined up really nicely.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'd be pretty fun. I think I'm winning the Spider-Man Raptors, and you're probably winning the Little Red versus Bloody Mary. Those look.
Well, maybe.
And the rest of them I'm winning, but yeah.
Sattler into King Arthur. Jill Trent into Dracula.
Yeah.
Black Panther Wukong. Those are great matchups. I have one. I think
my King Arthur will beat you.
Oh, I can't wait to do that matchup. Let's
All right.
Spider-Man. I have won that matchup into Raptors before.
Oh, wow.
But it was not your Raptors, so I'm not sure.
Houdini, Genie.
Houdini, just a classic, good out of the box set matchup. But yeah, we'll definitely play these at some point. And guys, who are the biggest snubs? Who were the biggest matchups or fighters that you just felt like, man, how could this not be your favorite? And who are your favorites? Let us know in the comments. Who are your favorite fighters? Because I want to know who you love, and then maybe we'll try them out. Maybe we'll play them. But we're gonna get off here. It's been over 2 hours, I think, of this thing, which has been awesome. Been really fun talking with you, Taytertots. We should definitely do this again. Yeah. Thanks for thinking of this and
we'll do it with maps next time.
Ooh, I love it.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Taytertots, and I'm gonna
me on.
Yeah, I'll switch cameras here once you get out of here. But thanks, man, for playing, for watching, or not watching. Well, you did watch actually. Thanks for hanging out.
Was watching. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, I'll see you.
Thanks, Captain. Ciao.
Look at that. That's cool. So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, that was really fun. Really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about that content. The top 10. Would you rather have us go through all of our fighters? Do you want to know my 11 through 47? Do you care about that at all? And are you guys looking forward to just watching us play these matchups? Does that sound like fun? I got a lot of tier lists coming out in my brain. I've got them. I've already created a lot of them. I've not made them yet, but hopefully get to doing that at some point in the future. Huge thanks to Crockpots. It switched it. Let's see if it switches. Did I just freeze the whole thing? Oh, I wonder if you guys couldn't hear me the last one. Huge shout out to my Crockpots. We got Bromantic, Greg's, Blasinski, 619 Sports, Chick Charney, O-Town, and Shy Guy for Smash. Thank you guys for your support. If you'd like to be a Crockpot, a patron, then you can go do that. It's in the link down in the description below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, like it. If you would like more content, subscribe. I will be doing a stream. O-Town is not available this Thursday, but to keep with what we have said, I will be streaming at 8 o'clock this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming something. I'm not sure what it is yet. I might be doing a tier list. I've had one that I've been wanting to do forever. I might go and do that. If not, I might do a single-player TTA. And if not that, I might do... I've got a series with my wife I want to play, Unmatched, where she will start with the best fighters. I will start with the worst fighters, and it's going to be called Closing the Gap. And I will be... So, for example, I think first game would be me as Spike versus her as Medusa. And if I just got an error, it's not responding. That's a bummer. So, if I win, I'm going to move up. If she wins, she moves down. So something like that. I forget how we're going to be closing the gap as we're going to see where she how high can I get for her? How low do I need to be to where she can pull off wins? That'll be a fun little thing to play. But thank you guys for watching, and as always, this is your captain signing.